You're listening to the Heavy Duty Parts Report. I'm your host, Jamie Irvin, and this is the show where you get expert advice about the heavy duty parts you buy and sell and keep you informed about what's happening in the industry. We've got another great giveaway. Diesel Parts is the only parts platform you'll ever need to cross part numbers, identify parts, sell more parts, and manage your inventory duplicates and identify places to make more margin. We are giving away 3 30-day free trials. This contest ends on September 30th, 2020, so time is of the essence. Go to heavydutypartsreport.com/giveaways today. From axles, suspension, and driveline to wheel end and tire inflation systems, Meritor manufactures high-quality parts for the heavy-duty aftermarket parts industry and provides cost-effective alternatives for specific applications and situations. In this episode, I'm very happy to introduce you to Doug Dole, General Manager of the Product Strategy Division of Meritor. Doug, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate being here.
So Meritor has some really great history, and you've got iconic brands like Euclid, and you offer really 3 categories of parts. And I guess for ease of labeling them, we could just call them good, better, and best. How should a fleet or an independent repair shop take advantage of the wide range of products offered by Meritor?
Well, Jamie, historically, we've had a very large share of the genuine and production first fit market. So we are basically 80% on the brake side and 60+% on both the driveline as well as the drivetrain side of the business. So that's one of our differentiating advantages that we have, and that's that we understand that complete drivetrain. We know how those parts work together. We can help fleets be able to spec those parts in a way that make those parts work together in a much better fashion. Now, we know all customers don't want to have a genuine brand, so we have different price points. Like you said, we have a good, better, and best price point. And we have that as a genuine. And then we have the Meritor brand and Euclid brand, which is all makes. So we would have parts for all of our competitors, the Danas and Bendix of the world. So we offer an all makes portfolio that competes with their genuine products. And then we have our Mach brand, which is a value brand that is for the second, third owner, who is looking and shopping just on a price perspective. We also, from a fleet perspective and our customers' perspective, we focus a lot on the training piece of our business. So we train our customers on features and benefits and different functionality and performance of those different brands to help them either upsell and or provide the right value proposition for our customers in all 3 of those brands.
Yeah, when I look at buying parts, I think of really it comes down to application. It comes down to how long you're planning on keeping the truck or the trailer. There's a lot of factors that go into that. So how is it that beyond training, how should the end user customer kind of take advantage of all the infrastructure that you have with your company?
Well, if you bring up a great point, and there are lots of different avenues that customers and our fleets look at when they're buying these parts. And a big piece of that is total cost of ownership. So if a fleet, one of our big fleets, is at the end of their life cycle, they may want to put an all makes or a value brand part on there to put it in for a trade-in. Now, even our value brand parts, we put through extensive testing on that to make sure that we're providing an acceptable product on there. The performance of it may not last and hit the performance levels of a genuine brand, but it would be okay for a trade-in. So we've had a lot of luck with the big fleets that are out there who really do a good job of tracking total cost of ownership, of really upselling the genuine brand, because they generally want to replace like-for-like parts, and they understand the value of having a part on there that's going to last longer, that you're not going to get an out of service on when you're going down the road, that you're not going to have downtime on that truck, and the labor to put these together are generally better because it's that same part that I got on a new truck. So we've got a lot of luck on that first fleet, the first owner, of speccing genuine parts and as well as our Meritor and Euclid parts. They use a lot of those as well. The value parts, like I said, is kind of for that second, third owner who is looking more for the cost, the acquisition cost on that, as opposed to tracking all their total cost of ownership and labor and all the other things that go into that.
In all the years I sold aftermarket parts, I was always having this conversation with independent repair shops and vocational fleets and say, look, like, the big fleets, they're doing this. They're watching their cost per mile. They're looking at total cost of operation. And sometimes it is a struggle to get people to kind of see the value of those higher priced parts. But at the end of the day, when you can demonstrate to people how much money it actually saves on the back end, it becomes a little easier to convince them that that's a good strategy.
Yeah, we do a lot of fleet tests as well. So if we've got a fleet that's questioning whether our parts are going to perform or not, we'll go out and do a test with that particular fleet, and we'll run ours in conjunction with the competitor's product out there. And 9 times out of 10, it makes that an easy sell for us to be able to get that customer to convert to our products because of the longevity, and when you actually look at the math of what it takes for you to do a brake job and or change a part out on that truck, when you include that labor in there, it really makes a good sell for us to be able to upsell them to a genuine or a Meritor Euclid type part.
It doesn't matter how good the part is. If you can't get it when you need it, that's a serious problem. Can you explain the role of Meritor Parts Express and how that really plays a role in after the sales support?
Yeah, we believe that the Meritor Parts Express is the top aftermarket parts ordering system that's out there in our industry. And there's a lot of work that we're doing to continually improve that. We've got a 12 to 18 month strategy on upgrades that we're doing with that system. And what I can tell you is that identifying the part is a big deal for our customers. So being able to make sure you get that right part the first time coming out of there is a big deal. And we've got a lot of things in our system that help our countermen at our customers and the end users be able to identify that part. We've got a huge repository of product images, specifications, overall product information that's out there. We combine that with search tools that identify both in catalog format as well as visual search format, that they can go and click on a ghost truck and click on an axle and be able to drill down into that part that's on that axle to be able to make sure that they're getting the right part for the customer. We also have a really nice cross-reference and alternative parts capability there. And we also include with that our training videos and some of the training courses. And you can actually sign up for training on that particular website. So you combine all those things together, and we think that makes our site the #1 in the industry right now, being able to identify the parts and have all the information there. And the fact that we are the production side of that, we've got a lot more information than some of the other aftermarket providers that are out there.
Yeah, and you make such a good point about the necessity to be able to identify the correct part, because just because you can access that information now easier than ever before, if you can't get people to the part they actually need, they're still going to end up having to go through the pain of the more traditional way of identifying parts and going through, maybe a long time on hold or having to drive down to your local parts store and eating up an hour of shop time. So that is such a critical part. And I guess as a manufacturer, because you've got the genuine side as well, you really would have a lot of that information available.
Yeah, we do a lot with the part attributes as well, making sure that we've got, all the dimensions and all the things that they could do some measurements and really go out and help them identify the part. The other thing that I'll say with our system is you now know where that part is in the delivery process. So you know that it's been shipped, you can expect it by this date. And that really helps our customers be able to plan their labor at their shops and make sure they're not holding bays up. So that also is, that's kind of the Amazon effect of knowing when that part's going to hit your door, so you can plan your labor and other things around that, and make sure that you can tell your customers when their trucks are going to be back up. So we've added that functionality, and that's really been a big benefit for our customers.
So is this only available to your distributors, like your independent distributors and the dealers, or is this something that people at the fleet level and independent repair shop level can use and then place the order through your distribution?
Yeah, you could go out and look at it today. So it's anybody can go out and look at it. We believe that that information is good to have in everybody's hands. Now, what you can't do is you can't see maybe inventory availability as well, or you may not be able to see. Certainly, wouldn't be able to see pricing and those kind of things. That would be you would have to have a sign in or a login to do that, and get order details and those kind of things. So yeah, you can go out and identify parts and utilize that system yourself, as well as all of our fleet customers and independent repair guys.
And as the industry continues to age and we see more and more parts people, really quality, good parts people retiring, this is going to become more of a need, not less, in the years to come.
Yeah, we think that's huge, and we've got it where you can look at it on your phone. You can check your order status on your phone. We've really done a lot to help that new counter guy be able to identify parts and get those parts out to the customers. But I think you bring up a great point there in that we have done a tremendous amount to focus on just overall training in our organization. We've added training resources, we've added some product technical specialists, and we have been doing, up until the COVID situation, we have been doing regional training sessions to bring customers into those. We've been doing individual customer training sessions where we would put together interactive distance training for specific customers that was tailored to what they were looking for. So we had and we still do have a very good menu of different training options that we provide our customers. And even with the COVID now, it's even been a bigger deal for us to make sure we do a much better job at the interactive distance training. And it's certainly being much more accepted now too. We get our product guys on there doing the training, and so we've been doing quite a bit of that during this COVID situation.
You're listening to the Heavy Duty Parts Report. I'm your host, Jamie Irvin. We've been speaking with Doug Dole, General Manager of the Product Strategy Division of Meritor. Doug, what do you get when you buy Meritor genuine parts that you just don't get buying any other part?
Well, with our history, we're a 110-year-old company. So we know parts, we know aftermarket, we know production. We've got engineering resources and technical centers around the world that we leverage both for the production side of our business as well as the aftermarket side of the business. So we've got access to resources that a normal aftermarket parts supplier does not have access to. We've got access to those testing resources, the engineering resources, and so forth. And like I said earlier, major fleets really do like to replace like-for-like components. That way they know that they're getting the performance out of these components that they got out of their new trucks. So that's a big deal. So you're getting a genuine part. It's the exact same part that I got on production, to the point of, I'm sure most of your listeners are familiar with the RSD brake shoes and the reduced stopping distance requirements for trucks. That when you're an OE supplier for that, you've actually got to test that to specific axles and platforms of trucks to get that to pass the testing. The fleet has total confidence in our genuine product that it will stop that truck in those distances because we've already done all the testing. So that's another reason why they come back to the genuine part, to know that it's going to do what it does when it's a new truck going down the road. And I don't have to worry about putting this other brake on that I'm not sure if it's going to stop it in that distance or not. So I think those are things that when you look at those genuine parts, it's going to perform like your new truck did.
So I think that people buy solutions, they don't buy products and services. So all of you people listening, especially if you're an independent repair shop or a vocational fleet, I want you to imagine that it's Friday afternoon. You're really looking forward to wrapping up the day and heading out with your family and spending a really nice weekend together. And you're really hoping to get out of work maybe just a few minutes early on that Friday afternoon. And just before you leave, you get a phone call that one of the trucks you fixed is broken down 16 kilometers out of town, and it's because of a part that you installed that failed prematurely. That's the solution you're buying when you buy genuine parts and you replace like for like parts. Doug, I'm sure you agree.
You couldn't have said it any better. I don't even know how I make a comment on that other than that is spot on what the fleet is looking for and what we provide to them from a value perspective when they're buying a genuine part.
So when we look to the near future, we see advanced collision and rollover systems, electrification, we see advanced diagnostics, autonomous technology. And this technology is, I mean, and the Internet of Things, I didn't even mention that. This is all changing trucks and trailers. How, you mentioned Meritor has been around for over 100 years. How are you adapting to all of this technological disruption and change? And what's that going to mean for the people who sell, buy, and install your parts?
That is a great question, Jamie, and I can tell you that technology is changing very rapidly. Um, the benefit that we have is we see all of this on the production side as well. So we're the aftermarket part of that group. We see all this technology that's coming down the pipe, and Meritor is on the leading edge of that technology. I can tell you that, to the point that in 2018 we actually created our own Meritor Blue Horizon brand, which is really focused around innovation and technology. You know, we have an entire team that is really dedicated to these advanced technologies that are centered around electrification, connectivity, and then the efficiency of that axle. Everybody's looking for how do we get more efficient on the axles as well. So there is a huge focus on the electrification piece of this, and we're playing a big role in that with the E-Axle series that we've brought to market and what we're doing with the E-Axle series. So we've got those axles running around the country today as we speak. So it is here, and it's not here in a big way yet, but it's on its way, and it's going to have a significant impact on both our customers and their customers as you look at that technology and how we service that technology. Imagine this: today you've got a truck that's got an engine, a transmission, a driveline, and an axle. Tomorrow, and really this is out there today, you've got a truck that's got an E-axle, and you've now eliminated an engine, a transmission, and a driveline. So all of those folks that are servicing those kind of parts have to be ready to be able to convert to being able to do something on electric motors and batteries and focused on that E-axle. And that's where we come in. So we believe we're on the leading edge of that. We are on the leading edge of that. And the other thing that's going on in today's environment is there is a big push to the air disc brake as well. And with that, we're seeing a rise in sensors and some of that connectivity to help with predictive maintenance and help with how do you do a better job of predictive analytics on those brakes so you can avoid those downtime that's out in the market because your brakes are out of adjustment, or you need a brake job and didn't get it in time. So there's a lot going on around that. With our Blue Horizon brand that we have, we've got a whole group of folks that report directly to our CEO that are leading that technology piece of that. So we are on the leading edge of that in this industry and pushing that out into the industry. So it's something that's going to have a significant impact. The timing of it is going to be pushed out some. So it's, all this isn't going to happen tomorrow, but it's something that we're preparing for and our customers need to be preparing for as well.
What is something that we might not know about Meritor that we probably should know?
I think we hit on a lot of that here, but I think it's worth reiterating that we are a significant piece both on the production side as well as the aftermarket side. Again, if you think about this, if in North America, if you're driving up and down the road, 7 out of 10 trucks have our axles on that truck. So that's a pretty big number. And, sometimes that's almost a staggering number when you think about the amount of axles that puts us out there. We just this past month in July, produced our 100th million brake shoe in our aftermarket plant in Plainfield, Indiana. That's a plant where we do a lot of remanufacturing, and we remanufacture brake shoes there. So 100 million, nobody else in the industry can talk about those kind of numbers in the aftermarket. So it's big numbers, and it's something that we're really proud of, that we've been able to accomplish those kind of things. We've launched more products probably in the last 6 years than we have in any other point like that in the history of our company. So we are focused on innovation and technology. And you can see that with our Blue Horizon brand that we've created, and all the things that we're doing around the e-axle. So I think all of those things are telling you that we've done a great job in getting to where we are today in our 110-year history, and we are focused intently and very focused on getting axles into the future with our e-axle and the technologies that we're putting out there today.
And from everything you've told me today, what I hear that Meritor is a partner with the industry. You're a partner with the fleets. You're a partner with the distribution channel. You're a partner with the end user. You're providing all this training and information and making it easier for people and empowering them really to be able to continue to compete in this really fast changing environment that we find ourselves in. So, to Meritor, thank you very much.
We really appreciate that. We really appreciate the comments there too. And we believe that that's true, and we know that it's true actually as we go out into the market and you look at where we're positioned with a lot of our customers. We either number one or number two supplier at just about all of our customers. So it's big, and we value that, we cherish that, and we do everything we can to keep ourselves in front of those customers and making sure that we're making the advancements that we need to make sure we stay that number one or number two and at all of our customers and all the products that we have to offer.
You've been listening to the Heavy Duty Parts Report. I'm your host, Jamie Irvin, and we've been speaking with Doug Dole, General Manager of the Product Strategy Division at Meritor. To learn more, go to meritorpartsexpress.com, and the link is in the show notes there for you. Doug, thank you so much for being on the Heavy Duty Parts Report.
Jamie, thanks for having us, and we really appreciate your time today and being able to participate in this.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Heavy Duty Parts Report. I'm your host, Jamie Irvin, and I'd just like to remind everyone to focus on cost per mile and let's keep those trucks and trailers rolling. You can watch our next video. Make sure to click the like button, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe.